let's go.
Good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock's crashing. Like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
Then yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
yeah, hey, look what I got. New whip with no top. Cooking up no stove top. Ice cold, no snow drop. Big budget has big facts. Big money in the contract. Been running no contact. New record with the new tracks. Yeah, they been sending me new plaques. I don't really need new plaques. Nah, big rock with the suplex. Yeah, new rock got a new flex. Yeah, I'm current, I'm a new trend. Now boys with the full scent. Yeah, like I said, no new friends. We don't really need new friends.
Good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
Check, 1, 2, ayy, check. I don't know if I can rap this shit. Yeah, ayy, yeah. Look at my wrist, yeah, it's poppin'. Took the whole family shopping. Funny that you always flexing. Just saw your car at the auction. Niggas on IG be stalking. All these girls, too many options. Act like I don't hear you talking. Drop it and they just come flocking. I took the phone that they sat in. Then got Gorilla Gang tatted. I went like it's automatic. Passing these niggas is tragic. Wearing all black with no magic. You just got green in your ice. They all stopped checking the facts, so I just stopped treating them nice. I see you looking, I see you watching. Wasn't too long ago, we was just talking. I'm sorry you hate me now, and I don't mean that I'm sorry for me. I'm just sorry for you, cause you won't get to see what a hot king can do when he's given the chance to become what he knew he could. Not much just popping, oh, and I'm shocking. I'm just from Buffalo, I shouldn't make it. Was right by my auntie, but that woman hated me. Good at pretending for everyone faking it. Now I'm awake and I see why they made the choice to kick me out just as soon as I made the choice. Now I'm a king, yeah, that's the thing. Happens a lot. Fatherless kids, yeah, we come by the lot. Changing shit whether you like it or not. He would come like it or not. Look at my wrist, yeah, it's popping. Took the whole family shopping. Funny that you always flexing. Just saw your car at the auction. Niggas on IG be stalking. All these girls, too many options. Act like I don't hear you talking. Drop it and they just come flocking. I took the phone that they sat in. Then got Gorilla Gang tatted. I went like it's automatic. Passing these niggas is tragic. Wearing all black with no magic. You just got green in your ice. They all stopped checking the facts, so I just stopped treating them nice. Fuck the whole industry, music and media. nigga. Started my own shit, I don't think they feeling me. I just don't get it, so fuck it. I'm done with all this luck shit. Y'all think y'all scaring me, so I address it. But now all your niggas is running. All of your mouths is just running. No talent, but your shit is funded. Now all y'all think y'all real funny. Clown flexing with that fake money. Can't buy shit without real shit, so you rent shit cause you real dummy. Just invest in mine like a broker. New money coming soon. Yo, last post got like 50,000, but you can't fill the fucking room. Look at my wrist, yeah, it's popping. Took the whole family shopping. Funny that you always flexing. Just saw your car at the auction. Niggas on IG be stalking. All these girls, too many options. Act like I don't hear you talking. Drop it and they just come flocking. I took the phone like they sat it. Then got Gorilla Gang tatted. I went like it's automatic. Passing these niggas is tragic. Wearing all black with no magic. You just got green in your ice. They all stopped checking the facts, so I just stopped treating them nice. She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay private, but I got them groupies. Own me in private, but don't get all choosy. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies, I got the rubies. She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay humble, but I get real moody. Try not to stumble, but she a real cutie. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies, I got the rubies.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Swole, Norma.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 testicles, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 3274 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gangcast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busted hustles, and you the hoes? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everest K2, flexing on all you Fam, welcome to the show, 3274, Wednesday, April the 23rd. Drop in the comments, what are you smashing today? We are live on Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole. And of course, subscribe, share the show with your friends, leave a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcast at The Daily Swole. Thanks for being here. Tainty Man is indeed snoring. He is out. He is loving his inflatable donut. And he loves that thing, man. He loves it. If you're just listening, he's on the screen right now. He loves it. It's like a portable pillow. He's got his portable airplane pillow, essentially. Hashtag gains every day. Drop in the comments down below. Now let's do a little bit of a swole call, little roll call, swole call. What are you wearing today? What are you rocking? What is your uniform for the Daily Swole? Today I am rocking the classic Forest Pump.
Lieutenant Dan.
What are you rocking today? This is a great shirt. This is a great one. One of my favorite ones. Forest Pump is an all-time great. So drop in the comments, what Papa Swolio merch are you rocking today? And drop that hashtag gains every day in the comments down below. Now, fam, let's get on into that tip. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, I posted this in the app a few days ago. And I said, today was one of those sessions that was strong as fuck. PRs on most lifts. The fine-tuning has been paying off. What wins have you had lately? And I posted that because it was just a money day. Cerny says, sleep. Magnesium glycinate has all but gotten rid of my restless legs. I also have the Smith bar down and happily adding more weight faster than I thought I could. That's what I'm talking about. Cerny's no longer taking 9 grams of magnesium a day. Ryan says, I made a PR on bench press last week. I did 225 for 4 reps. Good for you.
Wow.
I started really watching numbers on everything go up since I started doing less volume and did more often, which is increasing frequency. It was really hard to convince myself that not feeling sore, that I was still growing, but the numbers speak for themselves. I'm 5 foot 6 inches and 170 pounds, so it's a lot for me. That's fantastic weight. And I'm telling you, once you start training without the goal of being sore, without the goal of being destroyed, it changes your whole perspective on what it takes to build muscle and making progress. You don't have to be crippled, and nor should you be crippled if you want to make consistent progress. Being crippled is not the goal. Being sore is not the goal. Zachary in the app says, sorry to double post, because Zachary had posted something else previously, but was curious on tips for strengthening weaker/crackly knees. Zach, make sure you check out the ankle mobility masterclass, the hip mobility masterclass, and the knee mobility masterclass in the app. Get yourself some reverse sled action. That helps tremendously. And I would get a quality collagen protein, a collagen supplement. That would be a great place to start. Bone broth, fantastic. Get some more connective tissue in your nutrition. But collagen is very important for the joints, and that will help tremendously, as well as all the mobility. Reverse sled is paramount. And of course, we have a lot of great yoga classes that will help you also. Swole text for this past week, the accountability text. What is your biggest win from this past week? What's your biggest win? BK said, really, it's been the last month or so, but actually staying disciplined and consistent with going to the gym and making better decisions to improve my life one day at a time. Well, that's all we got. So good for you, BK. Kenny says, win is getting back in the gym after 2 months of recovering from an operation. Good to have you back, Kenny. I don't know what the operation was, but glad to hear that you're back in the gym. That's great news. That's great news. If you're back, then it wasn't that big of a deal, right? You're on the up and up. Good for you. Good for you, Kenny. All right, if you want to get on the email list, go to makeemailswoleagain.com. We're going to load up some questions, so drop your questions in the comments down below, hashtag AskPapaSwolio. And of course, go to makeemailswoleagain.com to get on the email list. Otherwise, you're missing out on knowledge cock, and you don't want to do that.
Matt Damon.
You don't want to miss out on that, KC. I'm telling you, it is thick. It is luscious. You do not want to miss out on that. Let's get into some questions. Let's load up TikTok. Drop your questions in the comments down below, hashtag AskPapaSwolio, and we will get to some of your questions. First one from Instagram stories is from Vishnu Papasolio. Tips to get a massive back. Well, training is much more simple than people make it out to be. There isn't that much to do for your back. First off, you'll want to train your spinal erectors. You want to make sure you're hitting your lats and then your upper back, your rhomboids and your traps. So make sure you're doing an upper back row, like a T-bar row or a chest supported row with your elbows flared, an upper back row. You also want to do some sort of lat focused exercise, probably one with your elbows tucked in. So you're getting a more lat biased row, and a wide grip pull down or a wide grip pull up, and some sort of hip hinge, whether you're doing RDLs or stiff leg deadlifts or 45-degree hypers, something that's going to hit your spinal erectors, Jefferson curls, things like that, and you are good to go. Progressively overload those, and you're going to get a nice, juicy, thick back. Any other comments and suggestions, you could drop in the comments down below. We come back to it. Ernest Freebird, Papasolio on Instagram stories. Bee pollen, fact or fake, good or bad? Bee pollen is great. Honey, bee propolis, that stuff is great. You just want to get high quality. We get some raw honey from a local farm. It's fantastic. So definitely like that kind of stuff. Whether you add bee pollen or you add it to your shake, you could try these different things, but just because something's good doesn't mean you have to take it. Doesn't mean you have to take it all the time, but it could be something that you integrate and try. And of course, quality matters. So honey is fantastic. Bee pollen's great, especially if it's from a quality source. Kotaro Fox, Papasolio, what is your preferred carbohydrate? Well, I get carbohydrates from a few different sources. I get it from raw dairy. I get it from honey, dates. I get it from coconut water. I'll get it from white rice. I don't have white rice every single day, but we'll have it, and we'll have it with bone broth or on the side with some steak, things like that. Maple syrup, honey, dates, fruit. Those are pretty much my preferred carbohydrate sources. And you need carbs, really. If you're trying to build muscle and you want to train hard, you want to make sure that you're focusing on getting your protein in and getting some more carbohydrates. Fat's important too, and just use the carbohydrates and find the balance that works best for you and the sources that you like the most. Store Machine 97, Papasolio, hey Pop, I tried working out without music and it's a different experience, but I like it. I've gotten so used to being plugged in and relying on stimulation all the time. Yep, it's cool. I like training without music. Of course, if you're at a commercial gym and they're playing shitty music, a lot of times you want to put headphones on so you block out the noise. So you end up listening to something just because you don't want to listen to the stupid radio or the gym playlist that they have, the top 40 crap. Unless you have a hardcore gym and they're playing metal or something like that. So a lot of times people wear headphones because the sounds at the gym or the music sucks. But personally at home, I have the fans on. I go outside, I put in the work. I'm not blasting music. I just go out and I train. Cosme Surfer, Papasolio. What should I do if I hurt my shoulder at the gym? Fix your shoulder. Figure out what you did with it, what the issue actually is. That's vague, so I can't really help you, but dead hangs and shoulder rehab and proper training will avoid shoulder injuries for the most part, but you need to make sure you address it and then work around it. It's that simple. Russ Madden 83, Papasolio, should I be wearing a lifting belt for back squats, 100 kilograms, and deadlifts at 160 kilograms? So that would be like 320, 330, 340 for deadlifts. Squats, that's like 225 or something like that, 100 kilograms. Should you be wearing a lifting belt? Personally, I wouldn't. It depends on what that is for you, because that's not a lot of weight for me. And personally, I don't wear lifting belts. I've used them in the past. I've used it on occasion, but I haven't used any belts or anything like that lately. So you don't need belts, but they can help you. They can help you maintain proper form or a flat back. It doesn't prevent injury, but it can give you a little extra support. But it depends on what your form is like. Some people like to use it. Some people don't. It's really up to you. The belt does matter, where you put the belt, how you use the belt. But using belts or knee wraps or things like that, that's not an excuse to go heavier than you should and to avoid quality form. So knee sleeves and things like that, I'm not a fan of like the actual wraps, like the canvas wraps, things like that. But if you use knee sleeves, I've dabbled with them. I've used them on occasion. They're okay. I would make sure that you're building and you're progressively overloading properly so your actual joints can handle it. But a lifting belt can be a good tool depending on the application. Again, it's a tool. You shouldn't be relying on it or depending on it, but it's not like it's bad for you. But it really depends on how you use those things. Store Machine, Papa Swolio, can you train smaller muscles like biceps or triceps more often than chest or back or legs? I'm trying to bring up my T-Rex arms. Can you train them more often? Yes, but you have to adjust the volume. You can train larger body parts more often too. Certain ones are going to incur more damage more easily. So if I'm training biceps and triceps every other day, so I'm going to be training them again today. I did a set 2 days ago, so 48 hours, but I'm only doing one all-out set. So I did a preacher curl for 5 reps, and then I did my single arm tricep extensions, and I did 7 reps. So I'm probably going to try to get 8 or 9 on that same weight today, and then next time I'll increase the weight and probably bring that down to like 4 or 5 reps for the next, and then try to get that weight up to like 7, 8 reps before I add more weight. So you can train any body part for the most part more frequently, but it depends on the volume and the intensity. So if you want to train quads every other day, you want to train intensely, but you probably want to leave a rep in the tank because going to absolute failure might incur more fatigue and you might not be able to hit that same exercise or the same body part in 48 hours. So it really depends on your frequency. Just adjust your training appropriately. So it depends on how frequently you're training. If you talk about 48 hours, like a Monday, Wednesday, so that's 48 hours, then personally, you can do that. You can absolutely do that with most body parts. But you also don't have to do the same exercise. So you could train shoulders on Monday doing one all-out set of an overhead press, and then on Wednesday you could do lateral raises because you're still getting anterior and middle deltoid for both of those exercises. Just change the stress a little bit so you're not doing the same thing every single session. But you have to figure out what works best for you because overhead pressing is much more exhausting and fatiguing than doing a lateral raise, for example. So you can train body parts more frequently. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. But again, the intensity and the volume is going to be what you have to pay attention to. So one set might be too much if you go to absolute failure. Maybe one set leaving one rep in reserve you can recover from in 48 hours. So it depends on how quickly you're going to train it. T-Bone Capone on Rumble. Papa Swolio, what angle should my arms be in for incline flies? Incline flies. Well, you're not going to hit your upper chest if your arms are flared out to the side. So make sure you just need a low incline and to keep your arms more tucked in by your sides. If you're trying to hit more upper chest, like let's say for an incline press, you want to tuck your elbows more at like a 45 degree. You don't want to be flared out to the side. So people do these incline fly machines with the handles, but it's really just a flat movement. It's just horizontal adduction on an incline position. So you need to make sure that you're getting that kind of, if you want to get your clavicular pec, depending on the size of your fibers, everyone has a different size of their upper pec. Some people don't have much, some people have more. You want to have some shoulder flexion there too. So you want to be kind of like coming up. So you can use cables, either with wrist cuffs or with handles, coming up for like a fly, that kind of flexion movement. You could have an incline chest press exercise or even flat chest press. If you have the handles down here, more of a neutral grip, that's going to get more upper pec. So you want to make sure your elbows are more tucked in towards your body. Irish Talks on YouTube. Papa Swolio, what's the best way to reduce insulin resistance? Or as you're saying, rather increase insulin sensitivity. Build muscle, lift heavy weights, cut back on carbohydrates, get rid of inflammatory foods in your environment, seed oils, vegetable oils, processed carbohydrates, processed sugar, and stuff like that, high fructose corn syrup, quality sleep, eating more steak. It's all those lifestyle habits. That's what I would start with. I would lean more towards animal-based carnivore, drop the carbohydrates, get rid of all the inflammatory foods, start looking at things in your environment, all the body care products and household cleaners and things like that, and focus on building muscle. Most people have less issues with carbohydrates when they're training hard and focusing on building muscle. It's also the combination of all the other things, right? Not drinking excessive water, focusing more on electrolytes so you're not bloated and overhydrated. And when I say overhydrate, a lot of people drink too much water. They don't get enough electrolytes in. So you want that balance. Coach Garfield, Papa Swolio's benefits of using a sauna after training. Just benefits of a sauna. It's cardio mimicking benefits. Heat shock proteins, fantastic for decreasing all-cause mortality. Sauna at least a few times a week is great. I do it on days where I'm not lifting. It's hard for me to get into the sauna when it's super hot and sunny outside. So I try to do it earlier in the day on days where I'm not training. Because if it's hot, I'm in the sun, I'm training, I'm exhausted, I've lost a lot of water. The last thing I want to do at night is get into like a hot box after being out in the sun all day in the summer and things like that. So I try to do it earlier in the day on days where I'm not training so it doesn't fatigue me. But if I do it on the same as a training day, I do it after. Sauna after training is great. Store machine to follow up on training body parts more frequently. I'm doing an upper-lower split, upper off, lower off, never consecutive days. So you're doing like on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. But was thinking of doing a set of buys and tries for a set with maybe one RIR on the lower days. Yeah, that's what you would do. That's what you do. If you're trying to bring up your arms specifically, train them more frequently and train them first. So you could do a set of buys and tries. You could do it first on an upper body day, depending on what exercise you choose. It may or may not. I mean, it will take away from your chest or your back training, but depending on what the exercises are, it might only be marginal. But yeah, you could do buys and tries first on lower days. You want to do it first. So before your your lower body day, you can do a set of curls or whatever curl you choose, and you could do a set of extensions. Mac Joe on TikTok. How do I get bigger triceps, Poppy?
Hi, puppy.
How do you get bigger triceps? By doing a progressively overloading a tricep extension, either 2-arm or 1-arm, and then also do some sort of a JM press or a tricep dip. One's going to hit, the extensions are going to hit. If you lock the upper arm in place, you're going to get a little bit more of the long head in there. And then when you're doing, let's say like a JM press, like a close grip bench, but JM, so you're going up a little bit higher, you're getting a lot of the middle and the short head of the triceps. That's all you need. As long as you're progressively overloading, you're going to get big triceps. Atomic Orbitals. I feel the gym dynamic has changed since I used to train 20 years ago. I'm 53 now. Is it just me? Everything changes. You got new generations. You got new people coming in. We got more technology, more knowledge out there, more bad information, along with more good information. The gym dynamic has changed. 20 years ago, in 2000, a lot of things have changed in the last 20 years, not just the gym, if you haven't noticed. So change is only change if you've been around. If you're new to the gym and you're a teenager now, this is just all you know. So nothing's really changed. It's all perspective. Be grateful you've lived long enough to see change. But yeah, you have a lot of information, and of course you have more people giving information that shouldn't be giving information. The thing is, we've always had insanity. We've always had insane people. I was born in New York City, so I grew up around insane people. People are screaming on the street, homeless people talking to themselves. They're always insane people. They just didn't have TikTok and Instagram. So now you're seeing all these mentally insane people posting all the time. They were always there. They're more insane now, but now they have a voice, unfortunately. And now you have to hear what insane people say. It's not just when you walk down the street, someone mumbling to themselves. Now they're mumbling on TikTok and painting their hair and putting a bolt through their nose and spouting nonsense on these social media apps. They're always crazy. Nick says, anyone see that new calf extension machine that has you bent over like a good morning? It looks fucking weird to me. You mean a donkey calf raise machine? I have one of those. They're great. Those are old school. Peanut Butter Pat 420. Papa Swole. How important is stretching before and or after lifting, and for how long? Stretching's not important before lifting. Stretching actually deactivates and inhibits the muscle. You don't want to do static stretching before lifting. You want to warm up and prepare your muscles for training with preparation sets, getting blood to the muscles, warmth to the muscles, getting that post-activation potentiation. You want to make sure that you're doing those warm-up sets, going heavier, doing a couple reps, getting your body ready for that all-out set, but you shouldn't be doing like static stretching. You could do yoga and mobility training with your weights integrated with your program and do yoga on other days. All right, last questions. Any more questions? Yeah, donkey calf raise machines. Some companies are making them more again. I think Arsenal makes one. But a lot of these companies bought previous ones. So I think Arsenal bought Nebula if I'm not mistaken. So if you know your gym equipment or your classic gym equipment, you'll notice how, oh, this machine looks like the previous one. A lot of these companies, they'll merge, or they'll buy the patents, or they'll buy the machines. They'll, they buy the patents, they buy the company, they absorb it. Like Prime makes, Prime machines, they have the different weights you can put on different pegs. That was Strive. So Prime bought Strive, took all their IP and their proprietary lifting equipment, and then expanded on it and kind of made it more novel and new and rebranded it and things like that. So a lot of companies they merge over the years, they go out of business, they get bought up, and then they're made under a different name. Most new equipment is nowhere near the old school equipment, but some companies now, it's kind of getting back into it. They're making cool stuff again. But donkey calf raises are nothing new. I have an old school Icarian one. It's great because it takes all the pressure off your neck. I have a standing calf raise machine, but if I want to do 2-leg calf raises, I have to load like 1,000 pounds onto it. And it's really stressful having, 800, 900, 1,000 pounds on your shoulders. Whereas with the donkey calf raise, you just put on your low back and your hips, and you don't have to have it on your neck. So it's much less fatiguing. You could also do single leg calf raise on these machines and not have to use the full stack if that's an issue, or get a gym pin. Shan says, your thoughts on locking out reps when working through sets. Locking out? You mean with your quads or with your arms? There's nothing wrong with locking out, especially if the tension's on the muscle there, but you just don't want to hold it. You don't want to rest between reps. You don't want to hold a lockout for 3 seconds. You're kind of getting a rest and recovery. You want to pretty much do continuous reps until you can't. And if you have to pause for 5, 6 seconds before the next rep, the set's done. You're not strong enough to do the next. You're just kind of doing a little mini rest and another mini set. It's not truly part of the same set. If you pause for a moment, you're doing pendulum squats, you come up and you pause for a second and then do another rep. That's different, but you start resting a few seconds, the set's kind of over, and you're doing a little bit of a mini rest, a little mini pause between and then you're doing 1 rep set kind of. Just want to make sure you're not resting. A lot of people will lock out or they'll hold a position because they're kind of recovering in between, and it's kind of a cheat. I'm not saying it's going to kill your gains or anything like that. Store Machine says, I'm starting to like unilateral exercise more now because I can exert more force per side and have less overall fatigue from the total weight on my body, especially with legs. Single arm or single leg exercise are good at the end of a workout. So if I'm doing biceps, if I'm doing a full body, I'm doing my biceps or triceps towards the end, doing unilateral is a great way to get more activation because you're focusing all your energy essentially into one arm. And if you have a lagging arm, single arm is great towards the end of the workout, but it's also really good if you're trying to bring up a lagging side. So for most people, if you're right-handed and your left arm's a little bit weaker, you do the left arm first, and then with no rest, go right into that other arm and match the reps. So it's a great way to bring up a weak part and still train both sides. Just got to make sure that you're training the weaker side when you're the most recovered, and then without resting, you go right into the stronger arm, for example. You could do single leg extensions, some other body parts. I mean, if you're doing leg press or you're doing something, you can do single leg stuff too. So doing single leg is also a good way to not have, if you have to put 8 or 9 or 10 plates on the leg press, you could put 4 or 3 or 5 or whatever it is and work up to your single leg. Yeah, there's less weight, so sometimes it can make it more convenient too. And plus you get a different stretch with some body parts. If you're doing a single leg, get that knee really close to the chest because you have your other hip relaxed, so it's less pressure on your back. Some machines you can really tweak around and see what you like. Because I know from my gym, I have certain machines because I like them for a certain purpose. But if you go to a gym, sometimes you didn't choose those things. So it's whatever the gym has. You find a gym that has great equipment, that's great. But you can manipulate some of these machines and customize it. A lot of people don't. Once you really learn how your body works and how these machines are supposed to work and what the body parts actually do, and you have more experience, you can kind of tweak machines and use them to your advantage. And some machines can have multiple purpose. You could have a chest press machine, cable press machine, and you can also like lower the seat and do a JM press. So you can kind of have 2 exercises in one. You can kind of do multiple things. So again, you find something that works. You find something that feels really good. You got really sore, or you really like the movement. It was really smooth, and you really love this leg press machine. You didn't like it with 2 legs, like store machine bothered your back. Do a single leg. Wow, I really like it. Then do single leg for a while. Maybe you get bored of that in a month or 2. Fine, but make your gains and then tweak it when you get bored. If you get bored or you flatline, you kind of plateau, and you need to change things up, then change things up. But stick to a routine, stick to a protocol, and stick to it for a few weeks. See how you go. And if you're feeling fatigued, look at your exercise selection, look at your intensity, look at your volume and your recovery, and look at all those things and adjust them, and then go back to work. Some people say if you take time off from the gym, you're going to recover completely. All your fatigue goes away. Yeah, no shit. If you have poor programming, you're going to probably need to take time off or do deloading or go on vacation for a week to recover because you're chronically overtrained. But if you just space that out, add more recovery days, pull back when you need to, do full body when you need to, do upper lower, add a couple more recovery days, you can fend off that kind of overtraining fatigue by just programming more properly and then staying consistent more long term without those kinds of time off. You don't need that time off if you're giving more time off and more recovery on a regular basis. So a lot of people just don't do that, and they don't fine tune. So they feel like they have to beat themselves up for a month or 2 straight. They're wiped out. Then they take a week off. They come back. Wow, I'm so strong. Well, if you actually program better, you wouldn't feel wiped out, have to take a week off, and you can just continue as is. So everyone's different. So recovery is great. If you have to travel a little bit and it's 3 days off, it's not the end. You're not going to lose all your muscle. So yeah, you're going to come back more recovered. So you can strategize around that. If you know there's a period where it's going to be a little bumpy, you just do some yoga, maybe ramp up your training and then take a couple days off. There's things you can do to strategize in terms of your schedule, but just keep in mind, you can adjust your programming so you can be more consistent. I've been doing full body pretty much every other day, but if I feel like I need an extra day, I'll take it. I'm actually even considering doing full body and then 2 off instead of full body every other day. Sometimes I do that. Just take an extra recovery day when you need to. If I feel good, and I will tell you, if you're doing every other day, sometimes the night before, I don't know if I want to train tomorrow. I still feel a little tight. And then I wake up the next day, I'm like, wow, I actually feel really good. Because remember, it's by the hour. It's not just because it's Wednesday. Oh, well, I trained Monday. If I train Monday at 4 o'clock and it's 12 o'clock now, if I train again at 4 o'clock on Wednesday, I have 4 more hours of recovery. So you still might feel a little bit, this, that, and the other. And then in a couple hours, you start feeling great because you're just recovering. You're getting to that complete recovery or towards that 100% recovery. Every hour matters. So if you're training at night on Monday and then Wednesday morning, you're not really getting 48 hours. You're getting 24 hours. And that's not a lot of recovery. So you have to keep in mind what time you train if you're going to try to do the every other day because it matters. Store Machine says, I got a knockoff monkey foot from Walmart for cheap, and it's awesome, actually. That's great. Monkey feet are a very simple tool. I haven't used mine a little bit, but they're great. Papa Swole, is chicken or beef broth better for you? Beef broth. Is it a preference thing? Just beef is just a better source of protein and minerals. Between beef and bone broth, or is it all the same? Well, bone broth is just you're making broth from whatever you're using. So broth is kind of a vague term. You can put all sorts of things in broth and then strain it out. And then you have the broth of whatever you soaked or boiled and simmered. So beef bones and cartilage and stuff like that is better for you than chicken broth, in my experience and opinion. The only thing that chicken broth is missing is beef. I had chicken broth like a couple weeks ago. It was disappointing because I wanted it to taste like beef. Oh. All right. Any other questions? Adam, we answered the stretching question earlier. I don't know if you asked that question on Instagram or from before, so we answered that earlier on the show, so you can rewind. Hashtag gains every day. Drop that in the comments. Last chance for questions. Drop in the comments down below. Hashtag ask Papa Swole. Dun, dun, dun. Let's get a little tainty man in here. Aww. Big poppers. Big poppers. Lil Anna on Instagram. Papa Solio. Cardio after weightlifting. 20 minutes of Stairmaster. Okay, I'm trying to incorporate it. Well, what's your goal? I wouldn't do it before weightlifting. So if you do 20 minutes after, that's fine. Just understand everything is fatigue. Every physical activity you do is fatigue. So it depends on the intensity. And what really matters is how you're able to recover for your strength training. So cardiovascular training is fine. Just make sure you're integrating with your program and you're understanding, if you're making progress, then you're making progress. And also, how are you measuring your progress? So if we care about muscle building, and especially as a female, women need to build muscle. So you're not just trying to lose. Don't obsess with the scale. You want to make sure you're building muscle. So if your weight and your reps are going up and you're building muscle, then you can keep on with the cardio and your other flow. If you start seeing your progress plateauing, then you need to reassess your training, your nutrition, your sleep, your fatigue, and all those things. Jen says, happy Wednesday. Just getting home to prep some food for the last half of the week, then leg day later this afternoon. Nice. Luke says, my pecs are slightly uneven. Should I be doing my one-arm dumbbell press? No, I would never do a one-arm dumbbell press. That's going to be really hard to execute. You're not going to be able to stabilize yourself. You can look into doing one-arm pec deck. I personally haven't, don't really dabble too much with that, but some people really like it. It could also be your form, could be your shoulders, could be other habits that are causing shoulder elevation, that's causing imbalance with your body. So yoga is important too. But single arm dumbbell press is going to be extremely not useful. Last chance for questions. Drop in the comments. Going once, going twice. If you're watching on TikTok, come on over to The Daily Swole on Rumble and YouTube. If you go to papaswolio.com, we have buy one, get one 50% off all merch, and all the links for the podcast and memberships and stuff are over there also in the menu. So you can just click the link in bio and find all the links if you want to catch the rest of the show. Merch specials, membership information, all that over at papaswolio.com. The show continues. Come on over to Rumble and YouTube. Let's get into some more.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That's deep.
Oh, it is. Indeed, it is. All right, fam, let's get into some videos. Pick a number. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to do this one first because it's short and painful.
What's in the box?
To name one film or TV show where the main character is plus size and the plot or their storyline is not based on their size. Contrary to that, is not based on the fact that they're funny or unlovable. Let's go.
Okay. No one cares. By the way, someone said, Mark says, if that doesn't work, try notretarded.com. Yeah, we're having issues printing. We're having issues printing notretarded.com. So if you order the shirt, just stay tuned. Apparently, someone might have been offended. So we're trying to manipulate the design and tweak it so we can get those printed. Because I refuse to not have it. I refuse to not have that shirt in my possession and to wear it in videos. So we're working it out. So if you ordered it, if there's like a delay, just stay tuned. Because I will not rest until I have this merchandise. Unless maybe we'll do a private thing, and then if you order it, if you get it, you did, and maybe we'll remove it. Maybe I'll just have it. Maybe I'll just have it. Maybe you guys don't get it. But I'm going to get it. I'm going to make it. All right, let's get into this video. It's called Will Fat...
What's in the box?
Are you sure, Cerny? I don't think any of them printed. If it did, then you kind of slipped through the cracks. This one's called Will Fat Phobia Go Away?
Do you think that fat phobia is ever going to go away? Because it's 2025 now, and fat people are still being shit on. We're still being criticized. We're still being condescended to. We still
because you promote it like it's something virtuous that you achieved. You're trying to force other people's speech. No one likes that. Fat is not attractive. Fat is not something to achieve. People don't like lies. We don't like liars.
People pretending to care about our health and wanting us to get skinny simply because they don't want to look at our fat bodies.
I don't want to hear your fat voice. How about that? I don't want to hear you yapping. Of course, it's a free country and the internet's, free. So I'm not saying that you can't, but if you're going to make annoying sounds on the internet, then I'm going to reply with my annoying sounds. People don't want to hear you trying to force us to pretend like it's beautiful. It's not.
I know that the body positivity movement has done a lot of good in helping.
You sure about that?
Helping people learn to love themselves, whatever size they are. It doesn't seem to be doing much to help everybody else, except that all bodies deserve respect.
All bodies deserve respect. That doesn't really make any sense. You have to earn respect. Bodies don't deserve respect. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm not saying don't be kind, but I'm not going to blow smoke up anyone's ass. Being obese is not healthy. Trashing your body is going to lead to morbidity. And you don't have to be fat. Your habits have led you to be fat. And you're trying to defend it like it's something you achieved that can't be changed, which is a lie. And it's just not true. So people do not like liars. We're done with liars in 2025. I am. We're done. We're done with liars. No more liars. We have one that's called Rant that looks absolutely horrifying. So we'll do that one last because I don't think I can watch that without punching myself in the taint. We'll do this one. This one's called Not Cool. Not cool.
What's in the box?
Not cool, man. Not cool.
You know what's not cool? Fat phobia. You know what's really...
She has a sign in the background that says, "You are magic." I don't think we're at Hogwarts anymore. You are magic. You're not. You're not magic. Can you magically disappear? That'd be great.
You know what's not cool? Fat phobia. You know what's really not cool? Talking about how fat phobia and anti-fat bias and weight stigma show up in the therapy space and systemically impact clients and their access to care. Fat phobia should not be a norm. Fat phobia should be talked about in therapy trainings. Fat phobia should be talked about when it comes...
It shouldn't be talked about. How about being fat should be talked about? How about being not fat? Oh my God, you hate me. You're trying to get rid of my body. I'm just trying to encourage you to stop eating Twinkies and maybe eat some eggs and go for a walk and go to the gym. Oh, you hate ourselves. We're just talking about this because we don't like to see fat bodies. I don't have to see fat bodies. I don't have to see them. I mean, if I go out in public, I see them everywhere. What does this mean? I love how everyone else is fat phobic or racist or something like that, just because I'm making a point. Hey, if you exercised, if you lifted weights and stopped eating cake, you wouldn't have anything to complain about. You're a mean person, fat phobia. I'm not afraid of it. I just have some basic habits and I don't have to worry about it. Maybe you should try it. No, but I like to complain. Okay. So what else is there to say? What do you need to say for 52 more seconds?
To making sure that clients have access to care and how weight stigma might be a pretty significant barrier to accessing care. How working with clients who have experienced weight stigma, anti-fat bias, who live life in larger bodies, right, require being well-resourced in a different way, require making sure that you have, providers that who are going to still treat clients with dignity and respect, especially medical providers, despite the size of their body. And this feels like something that you want to learn more about. We're hosting a training in May that my colleague Macy is facilitating. This is her bread and butter. I'm really excited to keep learning from her. And it's open to grad students and professionals. It's virtual. There'll be a recording. We'd love to see you there.
Nah, I won't be there. Okay, cool story. Cool story. Adam has some commentary. I hate this part of the show. These people are only as relevant as the amount of time you spend criticizing them. Maybe show some bodybuilders like Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman and their workout advice. You want Ronnie Coleman's workout advice? Yeah, buddy. Lightweight, baby. And Jay Cutler's partial reps. So cool stories. Why don't you go watch some Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman videos and fuck off if you don't like the show. I don't give a shit. This is actually very important to reinforce things and weak mindsets to avoid. So we answer a lot of those questions. The vast majority of the show is actually answering questions about making gains. And now we are reiterating insanity or cultural events or things that people want to talk about. So I don't feel like watching Jay Cutler videos right now. So
Brutal honesty from your
go start your own
friend.
podcast and watch some Jay Cutler videos. That'd be cool.
Brutal honesty
Thanks
from
for
your
playing.
fat friend, your current fat friend. And I say that because I really hate when people come on here and they're like, well, when I was formerly fat, or I used to be fat, or that is not my audience. On one hand, I want to be the aggressor. I want to be angry about it. I want to fight the fight. And on the other hand, I just want to create a safe space for people in this body to know that they can be in this body and live in this world and wear what they want and take up space how they want and be the moment in every room. And I just feel like it's a hard battle every day. There are so many that hated being fat or don't want to be fat or using the word fat as the clickbait moment. And at the end of the day, maybe that's my healing moment. I have to work through the anger of living in this world and decide how I want to project that in what I create.
Cleansing. Very cleansing. I love how I have to move the file rant into the folder. It's like, are you sure there's another file in here with the same name? The same name.
You not want to be fat?
That's a real good question.
Because, I don't know, I don't want to look like you. I don't want to die young from preventable disease. I don't want to have trouble fitting into a car. There's a lot of reasons why I don't want to be obese.
And pretty much any answer you can give would be based in fat phobia.
It's not.
Why are you so stupid?
It's science and logic and common sense, of which you are lacking. She must be a vegan because those are soulless eyes.
If you don't view fat as a bad thing, then why would it matter if you are?
It's a horrible thing.
So what you're lying to yourself, you just keep on saying that fat's not a bad thing, so it doesn't matter if you are. Is that what you're saying? You just lie to yourself.
You're so fucking pathetic.
All right, fam, make sure you drop in the comments down below. Hashtag gains every day. Drop in the comments. You want to call into the show if you have a question, something valuable to ask. Go to askpapaswolio.com. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com if you want to email into the show. You can go to makeemailswoleagain.com and make sure you show up for the show and ask your questions. And we talk fitness the entire show. And we also like to make fun of shit. And we check out current events. Nothing that I really have on my timeline that I want to share right now. But nothing that we didn't talk about yesterday. But maybe we'll have some new juice tomorrow, Thursday, the 24th. We'll have another show, of course, and make sure you participate on Instagram. You can answer in the Instagram stories, drop your questions. Like I said, email us, call into the show, askpapaswolio.com, join us over at swolenormousx.com. Let's give away today's Swole card. Gains every day. Falcon.
Congratulations!
No Falcon. No Falcon. Music Falcon. Thank you. Let's do it. Time to get swole, beaches. Go to the fucking gym. Well, that's fitting. Congratulations to Storm Machine 97. Congratulations. Fantastic. Gains every day. Well, it says every day. That's a technicality, but we'll let it slide. Congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3274 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Fam, thank you so much for being here, helping you make sick gains every day, just like this Swole card. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow to answer your questions, to get you fired up to make some sick fucking gains. Go hit some PRs today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Check out swolenormousx.com to join the fam. And of course, leave a 5-star review, share the show with your friends, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Ay, yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and make